What's up, A to Z Sports here live on a Thursday. Gonna have a good show. Shedeur Sanders doing something stupid to make Cam Ward look even better. Where have we seen this before? So we're gonna have a conversation off the top of the show about Shedeur Sanders and how he keeps proving Cam Ward right as the top quarterback in this past draft, and what Cam Ward's done in his first 5-6 weeks with the Titans, and what Shedeur Sanders has done with his first 5 or 6 weeks with the Cleveland Browns as a 5th round pick. So we'll talk about that briefly. Now, the meat of the show, Ryan, is going to be lessons learned from quarterbacks of the past. And I've got 4 Titans quarterbacks of the past, one of the present. We're doing like Christmas ghosts these days. But it's kind of like halfway. It's like halfway to June, half Christmas right now. But we've got 4 quarterbacks of Titans past and 1 present that I've got a lesson learned from. That was one of those things that after the quarterback fell off, in hindsight, you go back and say, that was a sign. So that was a sign. So I've got 4 signs of failure for quarterbacks for the Titans, and we'll see if we can use those to help analyze Cam Ward's rookie training camp. Ryan's got the camera. Did you have an earthquake there with that camera situation for a second?
I think it was scared of the mustache. The mustache is a week old. I don't know what happened there, but it toppled over. That was the weirdest thing of all time. I literally have it secured. It has like one of those little turn things that secures it, and the secure did not work there. So you saw the ceiling of the room, which is not the worst thing you could have seen, I guess. So
that's right. It could have fallen down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows where it could have gone? So
am I wearing pants? Who knows? I am wearing pants, just to get that out there. So
yes. All right, Josh says, Austin, you're going to hit him in the feels with Marcus Mariota. Absolutely. I've got a Marcus Mariota lesson that I learned that I apply to Cam Ward, and will apply to Cam Ward in his rookie quarterback training camp. So, Ryan, we're going to have a good show, and then we're going to get to sports trivia. Yesterday, Easton and I crushed sports trivia. Crushed it. Orlando's at the over-under on 4.5.
Oh my gosh, this is killing me. This camera
You're just gonna
right
have
now
to hold it the whole time.
Oh my gosh, this is horrible. What is happening right now? All right, I guess I need a new camera. This is a sign that there is an early Christmas present that needs to come. Oh my gosh. Okay, I might actually need to get off for a second to fix this. This is horrible. I might actually need to get out for a second. Yeah.
You're good. So you can do your thing here in a second. I'll do the open. I'll tell people it's there. So take care of your camera. I will tell everybody, share the show. Share the show, hit that like button. It's always a big deal for us. Make sure that you get more people in here watching A to Z Sports as Ryan is messing with his camera, as frustrated as he's going to be. This is more frustrating than like the black skipping of the video that Easton and I had to deal with last week. So we're going to have a good conversation today. So make sure you hit that like button, like the show, on Facebook and on YouTube. Make sure you do that. Facebook, you're a little bit slower to the like button this morning than YouTube is, which, YouTube gets a head start. So that's okay. But make sure you hit that like button and give us a 5-star Google review. That goes a long way for us. I've got a few more Google reviews that came in my email inbox earlier this morning. So we'll go through some of those, maybe depending on how long it takes Ryan to get his camera fixed. But let's start the show officially. Welcome to the A to Z Sports here live on a Thursday. I'm Austin Stanley. Ryan Roberts of A to Z Sports Film Room is back. Perfect. Is back just in time for that intro. We are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Also hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Leave us that 5-star Google review. Ryan, I got 4 more Google reviews that I woke up to in my email this morning. So shout out to you guys. 5 stars is the way to go on that. But got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and help you guys out as well. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. And our friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group, their customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They're online at bartondrury.com. So Ryan, everything good over there in your world with your camera setup? You get it figured out?
Oh no, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I appreciate you for handling the rest of the opening there. This was not a attempt at avoiding the intros, guys. Okay, I saw some people saying that in the chat. This was just a good old Ryan needs a new external webcam. That's all that was. But if you want to help with that, 5-star Google review to continue the show growing. Not that I need the extra money, but it's always nice to have a 5-star Google review. You can tell me though that, hey, Ryan needs a new webcam in the 5-star Google review, and I will not take any negativity off of that comment. So yes, we are good to go though. We are ready to go here on a wonderful Thursday morning. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. So I see 4. I'm not going to read the new ones because 4 is a lot to read, but I will shout out names: Terrence, Andrew, Mike, and a second Andrew. So Andrew Moore and Andrew Young, with Mike Bartram and Terrence Hicks giving 5-star Google reviews over the last 24 hours or so. So shout out to you guys as well. So Ryan, let's dive into what happened yesterday. I guess what came out yesterday, which was that 5th round pick quarterback Shedeur Sanders for the Cleveland Browns was pulled over in the early morning hours of the 18th, going 101 miles per hour on I-71 in Cleveland in a 60 mile per hour zone. So Shedeur Sanders pulled over going very, very fast. That's my math tells me, Ryan, that's 41 miles per hour over the speeding limit. And that's about 32 miles per hour over the grace period that most places and most police officers give. 9 is like, okay, like you can kind of do 9. But honestly, 60 is a little lower, right? Like where I'm at, 70 is the interstate speed for the most part. I don't know what it's like for you, but
65 to 70, like there's a little bit of a back and forth between 65 and 70. 60 is low though. 60 is low.
The lower the speed limit, the less of grace window that you have for your miles per hour. So
sure.
Honestly, that's really fast, going really fast unnecessarily at like 12:30 a.m. is when he got pulled over. Not during the daylight, but at the nighttime when Shedeur Sanders, as Herman Edwards says, was up doing things where nothing good happens after that time. So from Herman Edwards. So what's your take on this? Because Shedeur Sanders just seems like there's so many things off the field that we're talking about. And the irony of Kyle Brandt last week on NFL Network was saying was making a joke and to hype up Cam Ward, saying, Cam Ward could be leading the Titans on a Super Bowl game-winning drive, but we're going to be talking about what Shedeur Sanders is driving on Instagram. And Shedeur Sanders was driving a Dodge Ram TRX truck going 101 miles per hour in Cleveland, 41 over the limit. What's your takeaway here, Ryan, on this situation?
It's bad decision making, right? Like that. I mean, that's number one, first and foremost. I mean, one, it's really dangerous, right? Like, and you're the potential franchise quarterback for your. I mean, we'll see what happens with his Cleveland Browns tenure, but like you were drafted a lot later because there were some things off the field that people had major questions with. And you would hope, I mean, at least I would hope, Austin, after that whole saga and falling down the board and people having questions, that mostly we wouldn't be talking about you other than what you're doing on the football field and hopefully excelling on the football field. So the attention is just, this is what people were afraid of, to be honest. Like, what were people afraid of when they were drafting Shedeur Sanders? Talent-wise, we can dispute, how high he should have went, how high he shouldn't have went, whatever. But a lot of the reasons that he fell so drastically was people did not want to deal with the off-the-field circus that comes with being a Sanders, right? Like, that was one of the things. And some of it, again, I remember we talked about it, some things are Shedeur's faults from his college days. Some things I think is just naturally him being primetime son, right? Like there is a mixture there. But this is a Shedeur thing right now. Like this is a Shedeur decision. This was his fault. This is his actionable offense. This is what he did to get now himself back into the spotlight in a very negative light right now, right? So I don't want to hear about Shedeur off the field after you just fell to the 5th round. I want to see next, you being laser focused, head down, earn the starting job, beat out Kenny Pickett, beat out Dylan Gabriel, beat out Joe Flacco, beat out all these guys and try to prove some of the doubters wrong. And this is just an unfortunate circumstance of a really bad decision that has continued. Like, if you had questions about Shedeur Sanders as far as like the attention and the circus and all those types of things before he was drafted and even after he was drafted, this stuff is going to continue, right? So it is a very negative thing, in my opinion. It is too much attention, and I do think that it's going to continue to be a negative circus until he starts to show that he can make better decisions. Because look, a person makes a mistake. It was a really bad decision by him, right? Maybe he never does it again. Maybe he learns from it, all that type of stuff. But there is a correlation sometimes to bad decision making off the field leads to some bad decision making on the field as well. So I think it's a really negative thing. I think
and
that this
so
is a bad move. Yeah.
Major Key says, I can't believe y'all are making this a thing. And that's kind of where I
It's a
wanted
thing.
to check in with you guys. Like, does this matter? I think it does. And so, I'm going to have to ask an official question to you guys is, does this matter of a rookie quarterback that's already has negative things about him and he's going 101 after midnight, 40 plus over. Caleb says it doesn't matter. I think it does. And I think for me, it's the comparison in the side by side of Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. And Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward train together in the offseason. They are buddies, they're bros, they're friends, they work out together, right?
Yep.
And the Shedeur Sanders camp, Primes camp, is all about publicity, right? Well, Cam Ward used that as a weapon for himself to separate himself above Shedeur Sanders, because every time Shedeur Sanders is trying to use the cameras for him to talk about his other stuff, his personality and his off the field career and all this, Cam Ward used it for about football. And again, I think what we learned about Shedeur Sanders in the draft process, he's not a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's an entitled kid at times. And right. I think if you get pulled over for going over 100 miles per hour, you're either dumb or you're entitled. And I don't think Shedeur Sanders is dumb. It's stupid. I've got speeding tickets. I've got two. And both of them on the interstate. I was both going 85, 87, I think.
Everyone's had a speeding ticket before. Well, I should say everybody. A lot of people have had speeding tickets. I've also had a speeding ticket in the past. When I say off the field, because I saw someone say, what does he have off the field? It's not off the field criminal activity. It's off the field. The attention is on me at all times and the circus that comes with it. That's the thing. This is just this is more attention coming for a negative thing than a positive thing. Yes. I want positive things because there has been positive things. I keep seeing these graphics of him apparently performing well at OTAs. That's great. That's the attention that you want. That shows that you are putting the work in. This is a attention for a not great thing.
Yes, for sure. And Cam Ward has done everything correct, right? Cam Ward's getting the biggest hate that Cam Ward has gotten is using the F word in a media scrum because kids might be watching. But he's throwing the bleep out of the football, right? And so I feel like this does matter because it's all about the character profile of Cam Ward is the guy that you want to be your franchise leader. Shedeur Sanders has growing up to do. Cam Ward is ready for the moment. He's built for this, as Louis Riddick said yesterday. We played that. So I feel like that's really the main thing. Why is this a topic today? And then we're not trying to spend the entire show on this, trying to get 10, 15 minutes out of this because of it's topical and it's newsworthy, because of what the whole Shedeur Sanders versus Cam Ward conversation was for the 4 months after the Titans got the number 1 overall draft pick. It's that Cam Ward is the guy you want to lead your franchise. Shedeur Sanders is not right now. He could be, because the irony in this, and Brandon Little, who covers both the Browns and Ohio State for A to Z Sports, actually wrote this morning that ironically, Shedeur Sanders, 23 years old, pulled over going 101 on I-71. LeBron James, back in the day, 23 years old, pulled over on I-71 going 101. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Shedeur Sanders is trying to copy LeBron and be like, LeBron did it at 23, I'm going to do it at 23, then I'm going to be LeBron. I think that would be a cheesy thing for Sanders to do, but I think it's stupid. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a bad guy. I just think he's making dumb decisions, and the quarterback position is all about making the right decisions.
100%. Yeah. I think that, again, there is sometimes a correlation between good decisions off the field and on the field. We don't know if that'll transpire and have a negative effect to on the field. Again, it just comes back to me. I wanted to see over the next couple months. That's just me personally. And why is it a topic? I mean, you mentioned it already. We had this debate over Sanders versus Ward for months. When I first got on to the show and doing the shows with you guys, that was the topic. Literally, there were people coming on talking about why Shedeur Sanders should be the pick at number 1, why Cam Ward should be the pick at number 1. And so that's why it's a conversation. What, right or wrong, he's a 5th round pick, blah, blah, blah. Right or wrong, these guys are going to be compared for a long time now, right? Like that's how this stuff works. And so, yes, it's a quick topic of conversation. It is not the whole duration of the show, but it is a negative component to the evaluation process. If Cam Ward did this, guys, we would be talking about it today. That's the point of this conversation. And people in other topics of podcasting in different sectors of podcasting would also be talking about it because it's news and it has relevance, and we're going to talk about it for a few minutes.
Absolutely. Now, Jeff has a super chat on this with a funny joke. Whoever replied, it's not a big deal. He went 101. He just went 144 when he was supposed to go 26 a few months ago. That's a funny joke, right? There's a lot of jokes that you can write for Shedeur Sanders getting pulled over for going 101. Slower than his draft pick position. And as Easton said in the pre-show call, the only way Shedeur Sanders was going to go 101 is speeding, because Cam Ward went 101 in the NFL draft. So with all that, now we can shift to the actual topic that we have to spend the most time on today, Ryan. And that is lessons learned from Titans quarterbacks of the past and one of the present, and how to prepare to analyze Cam Ward's rookie training camp. So I've got 4 Titans quarterbacks that I personally still have a good recollection of watching in training camp over my career covering the team, of hindsight, that mattered when the quarterback went downhill, that now we can try to look at in real time with Cam Ward to analyze what may be something he struggles with out of the gates versus what's something that's just training camp practice. So we're going to get through all these. I got 4 quarterbacks, starting with Marcus Mariota. I did cover Jake Locker. That was a long time ago. I do not remember specifically covering Jake Locker. That was the first couple of years of my career.
Not to cut you off, but I loved Jake Locker at Washington. Not necessarily as like a slam dunk NFL draft pick, NFL quarterback, but I just remember watching him at Washington, and I loved watching that guy as a college quarterback. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it did not work out. So
it did not work in the NFL. Absolutely not. Yeah.
Lessons learned from Titans quarterbacks in the past and how they apply to Cam Ward's rookie training camp. But first, let me tell you guys about Lipscomb University's sports analytics program. They can turn your passion of sports into a career. Ryan and I have been doing this for a while now in our careers, and there is no correct path. There's so many different paths to get to doing this for a living. Mine was a windy, twisty road to getting to owning a company when I was 26, and that's not what I went to school for at all. Ryan's was his own unique thing. Easton's his unique path, as are everybody. So Lipscomb University can be a correct path to get to where you want to be in turning your sports passion into a career. With Lipscomb University Sports Analytics Program, it is an online program. It is in Nashville, Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee, but an online program to help you turn that passion of sports into an actual career, because analytics are just growing within the sports world. There's so many different jobs you can get with a degree like this. So check them out, Lipscomb University Sports Analytics.
Yep. Make sure that you hit the like button on the show, folks. If you're listening to us live on YouTube, like the button, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on Twitch or on Facebook, you can also like and share the show there. Make sure you're liking it and send it to your favorite group chats or your favorite Tennessee Titans fan that might not be watching so far this morning.
All right. So lessons learned of quarterbacks past for the Titans. I will start with the furthest away and get more recent. We'll start with Marcus Mariota. Ryan, when Marcus Mariota was a rookie quarterback going through training camp, he did all anew. Like, he was fast, he was athletic, explosive with his legs, but there was something that we were touting and watching as a positive that turned out to be one of the negatives, and maybe the biggest negative of Marcus Mariota's career, which was the hesitancy to throw in the tight windows. And Marcus Mariota went like 24 consecutive practices without throwing an interception. And it was because he was checked down Charlie, and he was being super safe with it and not willing to risk it. And now that at the time was like, man, the guy's wheeling and dealing. He's throwing, look at how many his completion percentages out of this world. Yeah. But I remember going into Mariota's 5th year option season, 2019, when he got benched after 6 games or after 5.5 games for Ryan Tannehill. Ian Rappaport was talking with Zach and I at practice of like, they just wanted to let it rip. Like, let it rip, man. And that was year 5. Year 5. Now, Eric Stanley, no relation to me, says Mariota was just handled wrong. No, I don't think so at all. Like, Marcus Mariota had talent, and Eric follows up. He could have been great. Was so hype about him. He could have been great. I think his broken leg affected him a lot, and his other injuries affected him a lot. Like, I think his injuries were real. I believe the whole nerve issue in 2018 was a big factor of not playing that Colts game. I thought it was a smart decision. But from training camp number 1, Marcus Mariota's MO was being hesitant to let it rip. And that's not how you're going to succeed long-term in the NFL. So that's one of those things that we didn't really like key in on what's going to be a reason why he fails until after the fact. But so that's hindsight number 1, Marcus Mariota being hesitant to let it rip that I saw from his rookie training camp. What are your thoughts on that one?
So let me ask you, because it's fascinating as far as trying to dissect why a guy is careful with the football and maybe lacks the aggressiveness to push the ball. My first part of the question, I guess it's a semi of a 2-parter. My first question is, how much do you, I don't want to say blame's not the right word, but he played for a defensive-minded head coach. And what do defensive-minded head coaches typically want from a quarterback? Vrabel, yeah. So playing under Coach Vrabel.
Well, he honestly just had a year, 2 full seasons under Vrabel.
Okay. So before that, was it who was right before Vrabel? It was
his Mariota's rookie year was Whisenhunt. And then he got fired 8 games into it. And then Mike Mularkey took over for the middle 2 years. And then Mike Vrabel was hired. And one of the big things about Mike Vrabel's hiring, even though he was a defensive guy, was to maximize Marcus Mariota.
Sure. Okay. So forget that question then. Let me go to a different style of question, because I was just thinking about the last couple there with Vrabel, obviously, because my question was going to be, defensive minded head coach. Obviously he's going to want an offense that is going to not turn the ball over a ton, not hurt a defense, put a defense on the field too long, like all that type of stuff. My question though is, so I saw actually an episode recently, I think it was a couple months ago, where Marcus Mariota went on Bussin' with the Boys, and he talked about all his experiences. And one thing that you hear consistently about people that play with Marcus Mariota is that he was a very laid back guy and just kind of chill and didn't have like kind of he was more of a lead by example, not as much a lead by like being a rah-rah guy. Do you feel that was, I guess my question is, early on, do you feel like you could have gotten that from listening to him interview? Because that's one thing that I do a lot in the NFL draft space, is I love listening to guys being interviewed, coaches being interviewed about a player's personality, and also talking to people that are around them and just understanding those personality traits.
Yeah. So, you knew he was laid back because you had the whole Hawaii Polynesian background, how he was raised, but it was more of like you're not going to get in this guy's head like that. It was viewed as he doesn't care because he's just so chill. Cam Ward doesn't care because he's going to, rip you apart on the field and with his arm and his mouth.
And he has like that, even when Cam doesn't say much, he has like this subtle confidence. Like he has an aura about him. I just remember like whenever I would hear Marcus talk, like I didn't have like that same feeling of like, wow, that guy is like, he's kind of, it's like that Peyton Manning like stoic thing, right? Where Peyton Manning didn't have to say much to say a lot. You know what I mean? And I feel like Cam Ward is kind of that same thing going on.
Here's how I'll put it. Cam Ward, like neither Cam Ward nor Marcus Mariota are like big, loud talkers, like just by nature. I think both of them have that notch on the field, because Marcus would bark at teammates and he would get in the face of a defender and tell him something when he needed to. But I think Cam Ward's confidence is just unshakable at this point. Marcus Mariota had almost like a fear of disappointing authority. And so he was quiet, but I don't think he was out there as confident because he was afraid to disappoint authority. And in that Busing interview, I'll listen to that too, because he talked about the whole, like, I wasn't willing to go against what he was hesitant to put his own input on the game planning, the play calls, and that kind of stuff. And so that's where I think how you can kind of coin Marcus's personality early on in his overall career.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I do think like there's different styles of leaders, obviously, and there's different ways to carry yourself. Like, not everybody has to be an outward versus an inward, like all those types of things, right? But I don't know. This is like a hindsight 2020 type of thing, Austin. But like again, when I was watching that interview with Mariota, I was like, I wonder if it was there earlier as far as like from an interview perspective where you could just see it. Like someone had said that he cursed or something in an interview and his mom made him apologize. I don't know if that's true or if that's like a joke. Okay.
And the curse word wasn't like bad.
Crazy. Yeah,
like
right.
It's like he said damn in a press conference or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just curious. Like, I mean, it's like the psychological thing of playing a quarterback, but I do really wonder if, like, looking back at some of those early interviews, if you're kind of like, maybe I missed that a little bit, right? As far as like that temperament and just that aggressiveness, because, like, we always talk about, you know, a player on the field isn't always who they are off the field, right? Like some people have that like flip switch. Like Brian Dawkins is a perfect example of like Brian Dawkins is like the nicest dude off the field, very like heavy into his faith and all that type of stuff. But then when Brian Dawkins got on the field, he became a little psychotic, right? Like he did it. He admits it. He's like the Weapon X thing, right? Like he turned into a completely different person. But I do think that in a Mariota's case, and some quarterbacks' case, and some players' case, just in general, who they are off the field is who they also are on the field. And I think that just kind of laid back, lack of being assertive, right? Like that, I think that stuff does kind of play into how he was as a quarterback as well.
Yeah, for sure. So that's my first lesson learned from Marcus Mariota, which in hindsight, his hesitancy to let it rip continued to plague him throughout his Titans career. The second quarterback on the list, I'm just going to go in chronological order, is Ryan Tannehill after Marcus Mariota. So this isn't Ryan Tannehill of 2019, 2021. This is Ryan Tannehill of 2023. So just a couple training camps ago. And we dismissed it because of what we saw from Ryan Tannehill the previous 4 years. But in training camp of 23, which was the last year of his career here and the last time he's played in the NFL, Ryan Tannehill's interceptions in camp skyrocketed. And it was just like, he's just trying to get on the same page, new weapons, new coaches, that kind of thing. He's just trying to figure some things out. But in fact, it was Tannehill starting to lose it from a confidence and like a getting old fast to where he did not have the arm strength anymore. His physicality kind of fell off the cliff because Ryan Tannehill is an incredible athlete. His ankles are really struggling. He wasn't able to move or feel pressure the same way and had a little PTSD because the previous couple of years, the offensive line was turnstile and, giving him reason to be jittery. And so Tannehill's training camp going into the 23 season was ugly. And we dismissed it as he's just experimenting. He's a veteran. He's going to be fine. And then in the first game of the season in New Orleans, the Titans lose like 16-15 and Tannehill threw 3 picks. and then he continued to struggle. And then he got hurt, another ankle injury in London. Malik Willis came in, and that was the end of Ryan Tannehill for the most part. And Will Levis jumped in for the most part that season too. But that was something that we saw. The interceptions were a real problem. And we dismissed them because of what we thought about Tannehill as a veteran quarterback.
I remember Tannehill when he was at Texas A&M. I'm sure a lot of people remember that as far as like him being drafted in the NFL and stuff. But do you remember when he was playing wide receiver for Texas A&M because Gerard Johnson was playing quarterback at that point? And I think one thing that people miss about Tannehill, especially early on in his career, is the kid's very athletic and very talented, like physically talented. I mean, I think he ran like 4.67 coming out of college at like 6'4", 220 pounds. So like he was a giftedly talented player when he was drafted by the Miami Dolphins. Someone said in the chat, I think it was, Tall Texan just said Tannehill suddenly got old. But if you remember his Miami days, he was beat up all the time. Like he had missed so many games for the Dolphins due to just kind of durability issues and all that type of stuff. And when he had his rebirth in Tennessee, he was, more consistent, obviously, being able to stay on the field and do those types of things. But ultimately, I think that he's a guy that the best way I would phrase it is his body just got so beat up that he didn't last as long as maybe some others will, right? Because of his play style and staying firm in the pocket, having the ability to move off of his spot. So I think he's just a case, Austin, of like, the guy just got beat to hell earlier in his career and it eventually caught up to him at the end. And then once his athleticism and his physical gifts started to dissipate, then his other parts of his game did not take that step forward. Like some people have to recreate themselves as they get older. And I just don't think he was able to recreate himself because he kind of relied on his talents early on in his career, especially.
Totally. And I think this is the unfortunate part of this because now people have a different view of Ryan Tannehill because Roger says, at least Tannehill got paid a lot. And then Vanessa says, I never thought Tanny was good. If you never thought Ryan Tannehill was good, then explain 2019 and 2020.
Well, that first year he threw like 30, 33 and 7 or something like that, right? Like he was phenomenal.
It was ridiculous. Like he scored 40 touchdowns in 2020. The same year that Derrick Henry ran for 2,000 yards. He had 33 passing touchdowns and 7 rushing. And it was the comeback player of the year. The year before that, 2019, he saved you from bottoming out from Marcus Mariota, getting whooped 16-0 in Denver. And you went on to make the AFC Championship game. So Ryan Tannehill was very good. Go look at 2021. That is where they got the number 1 overall seed because Ryan Tannehill was the only guy to stay healthy on the offense that season. And they were 12-5. It was ugly. It was not a pretty season. And Ryan Tannehill was piecing it and holding it together. And that was actually maybe one of his most impressive years, but it didn't show up in the box score. And unless you go back and re-look at it, like how impressive it was for Ryan Tannehill in 21 to do what he had to do with Julio Jones not panning out. A.J. Brown went on injured reserve. That's the year that Derrick Henry broke his foot. And you had Hilliard and Foreman running the show. So like Ryan Tannehill was very good for about 3 years. And then it all fell apart in the worst way. And now everybody, because of Cincinnati and because the last season and a half that he was a starter here after that, like you forget of what he did. John Robinson and Ryan Tannehill are kind of very similar. That because of how it ended, you forgot about how good it was earlier. And because of how it ended, like they created their own expectations. John Robinson and Ryan Tannehill both raised their own expectations by their performance to where they could not sustain it, and that was their downfall. Now, John Robinson deserved to be fired. He deserved all that stuff, right? But again, like John Robinson created the expectations that you had to make him be fired.
Yeah. Well, and so when I said that when you are this type of quarterback and some parts of your game start kind of leveling off a little bit, you need to adapt and evolve as a player, right? So Tannehill wasn't able to evolve as a player. One other thing too, Austin, I don't think people, you just mentioned it, a couple of the injuries that happened, but A.J. Brown is gone, right? The offensive line starts going the wrong way as far as like earlier, when like the Taylor Lewan years of like it being a good offensive line, then all of a sudden you're like, snap, our offensive line isn't nearly as good as it was just a couple years before that. Derrick Henry, although still a very good player, like he's starting to get a little bit older, his less duration in Tennessee. He's getting banged up a little bit more. So ultimately, I think he's the perfect, I'm going to say this and some people are going to find this very disrespectful. Ryan Tannehill was a very good system quarterback, and system quarterback is the most negative term that people can put out there sometime. And and I think a lot of people take it the wrong way. It's saying he found the right system that fit him and that he excelled at. And then when things around him started getting worse, he played worse. Like that just ultimately is what it is, right? Like at the end of the day. So he's an unfortunate circumstance of things around him starting to go downhill a little bit. And I think that he just got banged up, and
including the offensive coordinator, right? Todd Downing was terrible. Like, it was not a good play caller at all, like at all. Yeah. And so look, this is the problem that I have with fans because it's Marvo. Y'all stay living in delusion about that bum Tannehill. He's not a bum, dude. Like, stop. Like, let's not, like, we don't have to be this dramatic all or nothing. Ryan Tannehill was the second best quarterback in Titans history. Tennessee Titans, not Oilers, Titans history. And if you want to really argue it, like by the stats, you can say that he's better than McNair, but he wasn't. Like McNair was better. We know that. But Ryan Tannehill was second best. And he's not a bum. If that's the fact, then Marvo, you're a big fan of team of bums. Like, but you're not. Because Ryan Tannehill was good until he was no longer good. But just because he was not good the last year and a half doesn't mean that he wasn't good for 3 years before that. Like, you have a human brain that's complicated. You can learn these things. You can have multiple opinions about things that are different. So, dude, that's so stupid. Like, that's dumb. Stop thinking that way.
Can you imagine?
Because you're painting people in an incorrect light. Like, I felt the same way about Josh Dobbs and Tennessee fans. The same way about, so many different people. Like, Derrick Henry's the opposite. Derrick Henry was borderline a bum until he wasn't. And then he became a Hall of Famer. Why? Because Derrick Henry put the work in, realized that about himself, had his eyes open up, and started just being a beast. And now he's one of the best running backs in the modern history. So it's just like, God, you guys are ridiculous. It's fans, I get it, but like, it's wild. It's wild. Vanessa can't run a 2-minute drill. Ryan Tannehill led the NFL in fourth quarter comebacks for 2 consecutive seasons. Like, you guys are cherry picking things to fit your butthurt narrative. All of you. Not all of you. Sorry.
Can you imagine their perception of Cam Ward this year if he had 40 total touchdowns? Yeah. Over the next couple of years. I'm not even talking about, forget a rookie. Like, obviously, that'd be phenomenal as a rookie. If year 2, year 3, Cam Ward had 40 total touchdowns, everybody would think that he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL before very too long, right? So, yeah, perception. Unfortunately, we remember sometimes when things go south and a player isn't as good in your last memory of him, sometimes that taints the whole memory, right? Which is a very unfortunate circumstance of sports sometimes.
And we are all humans. Our brains can think complex thoughts. We can have multiple opinions at the same time. Social media has made it very binary for us. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be that. So it's crazy. It's crazy that happened. All right. So off of that, because I'm tired of going through the ridiculous, incorrect opinions of people say that opinions can't be incorrect. Yes, they can be. They can be misinformed and incorrect. But you still have the right to it, I guess. So, all right, let's get to the other 2 quarterbacks I've gone through. Lessons learned from Titans quarterbacks past, and in hindsight, told us the story about their downfall. Marcus Mariota was his hesitancy to let it rip. Ryan Tannehill was his losing his confidence in the pocket that led to interceptions after the 2023 training camp. We've got Malik Willis and our favorite Will Levis here coming up in a second. But first, let me tell you guys about the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Make them the place that you turn to whenever that injury happens in life. Injuries are just massive inconveniences as adults. So don't let that thing linger. Don't let it affect your family life, your social life, your work, all of that right there in Franklin, Tennessee, online at boneandjointtn.org.
If after the show, if you guys could go on to Google and give us a 5-star Google review, that'd be very much appreciated. Obviously, if you love the show, put it in there. If you want to tell Ryan how wonderful his mustache looks, or that he's going to get an awesome new camera, or that he has a great hairline, because some people are really concerned about my hairline in the chat, tell me all. I have a wonderful wife that tells me I'm very attractive all the time. But if you guys want to tell me in the 5-star Google review, you guys do that. I love it. Or if you just want to tell us how great the show is, please do that as well.
I'll just point it out. John Hutchinson is really obsessed with Ryan today. And so
he's player hating, man. He is player hating in the chat. Oh yeah,
sure is. But anyway, all right. So I've gone through Mariota and Tannehill. Malik Willis. This is the most obvious. Malik Willis just would not throw the football. Like, there were 7-on-7 periods where he would just run. And you're just like, that's not the assignment. Like, that's not like you throw the ball. There's no pass rush. Like, you have to get rid of the football.
Yep.
And it was so bad that in preseason games in his first year, Vrabel pulled him out of the game because he would not throw the football. John, are you threatening us, dude? Are you threatening us? You're watching our show. Are you actually threatening us? He says, "You're next, Austin. F around and find out, G." Okay, bro. Like, keep on going, man. But Malik Willis just would not throw the ball. His processing wasn't there. He said all the time, like his feet could not match his mind. Like for athletic as he was, he says his mind would be there, but his feet couldn't get quick enough. And so it was just really tough to watch Malik because you're just like, he got so much better. Like in year 2 with Brian Callahan and that staff last year before they traded him to the Packers. And the Packers whooped the Titans with him because they put up a game plan that I think the Titans took lightly, and Matt LaFleur waxed the Titans with Malik Willis. But I really feel like Malik Willis just was never really – I don't think he's ever going to be an NFL quarterback. I think he was and I felt this the whole time about him. Malik Willis was plagued by his college coach being Hugh Freeze, and Hugh Freeze trying to use Malik at Liberty to get back to the SEC and not developing him one iota for the NFL.
Yeah, he's an interesting one because I obviously have a lot of context of actually scouting him as a prospect. I scouted, didn't scout Tannehill obviously a little bit before my time as far as like in the NFL draft space, Mariota as well. But like this is the first one we're talking about that I have somewhere in my drive, a legit scouting report on Malik Willis coming out of Liberty, which is just interesting. Just kind of see how things have kind of transpired. He actually did look okay with Green Bay this past year, the couple of games that he had the opportunity to play while Jordan Love was hurt, which is kind of an interesting just kind of thing to keep an eye on for like development and how much that'll kind of continue to move forward a little bit. But he was, why does scheme matter coming out of college, right? And there are some offenses that just do not translate to the NFL. Like, and Hugh Freeze's spread, one read, quarterback system, like it is not translatable to the NFL. It's the same thing with like Heupel at Tennessee. That's why so many people are down on Tennessee quarterbacks going to the NFL. It's, some of these air raid systems that we see like aren't fully translatable. Like there's some air raid elements in the NFL now, but it's not like fully translatable. And I think Malik Willis was one of those guys, Austin, that physical tools, great athlete, obviously, right? Great athlete, had a strong arm. Accuracy was a little spotty, but I think the most part, like he just was not adequately trained to be an NFL quarterback in college. So he was naturally just behind the 8 ball, and having any type of early career expectations for Malik Willis was not going to be good for him. Like that was going to be his downfall. He was a guy that needed to come in and sit and learn an NFL offense, how to make checks at the line, how to go through progressions. He needed to do that. So the fact that he was pressed a little early, not a big sample size, but he pressed a little bit to trying to be hopefully that guy in Tennessee. I just think that was ultimately his downfall. But I am interested to see if Green Bay is able to just kind of get a little bit more out of him. Because again, they did show some good signs, at least in the couple games that he did play this year.
Well, and like the plan was Malik was not supposed to play until last year. Like year 3 was his timeline. And Tannehill's injuries because of the offensive line accelerated that and put Malik in there before he was ready. And so then, Green Bay obviously has a playoff roster. Green Bay is they view themselves as contenders. So of course, a better roster allows a quarterback who is less than to elevate, right? And so with the Titans, that was their transition of bad roster when Malik came in and did not have people to help him make his life easier from a steep growth curve that he came in with. So that is the thing with Malik. Is the lesson I learned is that if you're not going to throw the ball in practice, then you're going to struggle to throw the ball in the game. That one's probably the least applicable to most quarterbacks in the NFL. But Will Levis. So the lesson, I think this is the one that there's 2 that I'm taking away from these 4 quarterbacks and applying them to watching Cam Ward. It's Marcus Mariota's and Will Levis's. Will Levis's was last year when he could not, for the life of him, get on the same page with Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
And it was so frustrating because they just paid Calvin Ridley $92 million for 4 years to be Will Levis's guy. And you see Ridley running down the field past everybody, and Levis just couldn't hit it, or Ridley couldn't catch up to it, or whatever the reason was. The ball was on the ground way too often. and you're just like, it's there. It's being drawn up. Why can't it work? And that translated exactly to the field in the games. And I don't think Will Levis had a bad camp overall last year. I think Will Levis is a better practice player than a game player because he can control practice better. So that's so when analyzing Cam Ward, I'm watching how does he push the ball down the field and not be hesitant to take risks in practice, unlike Marcus Mariota. And then his connection with Calvin Ridley is already off to a great start. How does that continue to develop the more and more they get to work together?
Sure.
So those are my lessons from Titans quarterback to the past, and how do they apply to analyzing Cam Ward's rookie camp.
Yeah. Anytime you can't get on the same page with your number one receiver, it's obviously not a very good sign, right? It's not. Do you feel like for your interactions, maybe not interactions is the right word, but your observations of Will Levis in practice as well, do you feel like there was a general lack of feel for him as a player? Like, that was one thing at Kentucky that I just felt like he was just always, everything just felt disjointed at times, right? Like, it just feel like he didn't see the game incredibly well. He didn't feel pressure great all the time. Like, it just felt like he felt like a great athlete and talent that wasn't necessarily a good football player, for the lack of great analysis.
100%. Will Levis, book smart, no street smarts, right? Like, no, life skills. Like, he might be getting 4.0 GPAs, but what happens when Will Levis's tire pops in the interstate? He's on the side of the road. I don't know. Does he know how to change it himself? Is he prepared to call AAA? I just don't know, Will Levis's life football experiences of what you're saying. I think you're dead on with that. The lack of feel for the quarterback position, because it's I think you and I talked about the inside basketball player versus the outside basketball player. Will Levis is an indoor guy. Yeah. Cam Ward's an outdoor guy. Like, the indoor guy has to have the best clean sneakers, the perfect basketball, the Wilson that's all fluffy and leathery, and you got to make sure you dust the court before you go do drills and everything. Yep. The outdoor guy is playing with double rims and a broken net and a ball that has an oblong shape or a knot in it, and who cares what shoes you're wearing, right? You're just gonna go out there and get buckets.
You want to be a good shooter though, play with those double rims, man, because everything has to be perfect. If you're even slightly off, that thing's going to clank out all the time. 100%.
Exactly. So that's my analysis of Will Levis. He was a prototype for a quarterback and had all of the resources to be built in a lab and structured to be a quarterback, but did not have a feel for the game because he was not put in the environment to force that.
You know, my early red flag on Will Levis, long before he was a Tennessee Titan, was I remember watching a Penn State football game where Sean Clifford was their quarterback, who was a very just average college quarterback. And they used to bring Will Levis into the game, not to throw the football, to be a Wildcat quarterback. And I'm like, that's not a good sign at all, man. Like, sometimes that stuff matters, It's like, how I know, again, there's seniority stuff. Sean Clifford's older than him. He's been in the system a couple of years at Penn State, blah, blah, blah. But if you remember Sean Clifford was not good. Like, he was just a very average quarterback. Why couldn't Will Levis beat him out? Why did he have to transfer to Kentucky? Why couldn't he do that? Right? Like, those things I think are sometimes a little bit, we don't talk about them enough, because there is some coaches that just are like, I'm playing the older guy all the time, and that's just going to kind of what they're doing. But then on the other side, it's like, why couldn't he beat out that 6'1" Sean Clifford? Like, why wasn't
most of the time it's because the coach trusts the older guy, because the older guy's got the experience and the ability to play and to understand the situations and not screw it up, even if the younger guy's more talented. So I think, it's kind of a catch-22 of the younger, more talented guy can't get that experience without playing. But if you play him, the coach is like, ooh, I don't know, it might hurt my job security, because James Franklin got to win games because he's making $9 million a year or whatever it was.
All I'll say is it is a shame that we were in an era that does not love the fullback position anymore, because Will Levis would have been a hell of a fullback, man. Fantastic fullback.
Chill mode, comment of the day. Will Levis is the Planet Fitness version of Ivan Drago. It's a great comment.
Yeah, I must break you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely.
I can imagine him just coming up to someone and just saying like a one-liner that doesn't make any sense, that the English doesn't even make 100% sense, and you just keep moving on with your day. Could see it 100%.
Yep.
Looks the part, certainly. Yeah.
Cronky says Levis can change a tire. Come on, man. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I know how to. I've never had to do it.
I could change a tire too, but I'm not reading, a post snap rotation, working to a different coverage and having to go through my progressions. Like, those things are not related, obviously. So yeah,
for sure. All right. Speaking of movie references, Easton watched Remember the Titans last night, and he will have his movie report tomorrow on the show, because that was the first time in Easton's life that he watched Remember the Titans. That movie came out when he was roughly a year old and never got to it. And I don't understand how, but he watched it, and I gave him a movie review worksheet, Ryan, that he had to fill out as he watched it. And I'm excited to have you guys hear Easton's movie report tomorrow. And we've got, a few more weeks of movies that we get to do this.
Wait. Did you actually, you made him a worksheet, like a
yes.
legit worksheet that he had to?
Yes.
No way. That's hilarious.
Should I read the worksheet questions?
I would love to hear the worksheet questions. Yes, I would love to.
Okay, good. Because all right, so he answered the worksheet questions not on the doc that I sent him. So I have a clean, so I'm not getting spoiled of his answer. So the worksheet that I have for Easton, I have facts at the top, release date, the studio, and the box office results, obviously. And then I have plot overview. Describe the plot of the movie in 30 seconds, but as if you were talking to your 10-month-old daughter. And then I have opinion on the film's main character. Who was your favorite and second favorite supporting character and why? What was your favorite scene from the entire movie? List your top 3 memorable quotes from the film. What's a life lesson that you can take from this film? Did you cry? Fill which replies. Yes. Which scene and why? No, did not cry. Which moment would you expect would have the highest cry rate? And then the final question is, who is a former Titans player to compare this film to gauge how good or bad it is?
Oh man, what if he doesn't like it? I'm sure he did, but what if he didn't like it? Would you?
Well,
what would you?
We're gonna know what Titans player he lists, and if it's like, I don't know where we're gonna go with. I hope it's not like Valentino Blake. That would be the bad movie.
Man, I do think that there's a couple of those questions that need the correct answer. Like the one that I'm thinking of is, what is the best scene? I think that there's a correct answer there. That should be like the majority. Like, what's the best scene in Remember the Titans?
See, I don't know. There's a lot of correct answers.
I think it's not another yard. Like that scene, man, where they're remember where they're playing at halftime, and he's like, not another yard, or I'm taking all you out of there. I'm like, that's the scene. I think that's the scene.
There's so many, like the movie quotes, we will do up downs until Blue is no longer tired or thirsty. That's one of my favorite lines. That's kind of like I don't know how many people love that one, but it's my favorite.
Yeah, left side, strong side's a good one too. I see a couple people putting it in there. Yeah, what I guess when they come together in the camp with the left side, strong side thing, like that's a great scene too. I agree. Yeah. That's a good one.
I mean, we can do all this because you guys are our people. Like we know what we're talking about. The Eric's right. Are you blind? Don't you see the resemblance? That's my brother in the hospital room. Oh God. And so I don't know, I am very excited. I'm very excited for Easton's review. And so, I think I like the way Edward says, damn, this is a whole assignment. Caleb says, in another life, Austin was a high school English teacher. Vanessa says, damn, just let him watch it. No, I wanted to be organized. I didn't want Easton to walk in here and just vomit Remember the Titans takes all over the place. I wanted it to be organized and to get to some points.
You have to grade it afterwards. You have to slap a letter grade at the top of the paper. I think that needs to happen now. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And one thing that Easton didn't understand that Ryan, you do, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat do, is nobody will ever take away the level of hype that I was as a 10-year-old on a Friday night in the movie theater with my entire youth football team on opening weekend of Remember the Titans, watching the movie as a team, and then going playing the Franklin Cowboys the next morning at 10 and probably losing because the Cowboys were better than we were. But that's how it worked. But we were hyped, man. We were feeling it all because that was it.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think we all have those memories, like, because we're obviously in the same age bracket, right? Where it's like you remember watching that movie and going out and playing football. Like, it was the best time of the world. Two things real quick. One thing is I will always remember how many feet are in a mile because of that movie, 5,280 feet. You remember that. The other thing is I would love to suggest the next football movie after this one, if that is possible.
Okay. So we were going to do a poll, but we need movie suggestions because, you know, we've got a few more weeks before Titans training camp starts to do this on Fridays with Easton, is to give him movie reviews. He will watch at least one Adam Sandler movie. Okay. I don't know if I want it to be Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore.
Well, I was going to say you could do The Waterboy and kill two birds with one stone.
It doesn't have to be football. It's just got to be.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you could do both, right? I mean, one football movie, and you could also do the.
I don't want to.
Movie.
Oh, he hasn't seen Space Jam either.
That's so bad. It's so bad. It's just yeah. It actually kind of makes me mad a little bit.
All right. I'm writing stuff down.
Do you think he'll know any? All right, so he hasn't seen Space Jam. My question is though, without seeing their names during the movie, think he'll know the basketball players that they take the powers from? Do you think he'll know like Charles Barkley and those guys? Do you think he'll know Sean Bradley? There's no chance he'll know who Sean Bradley is. There's zero chance.
Who is that short guy? No way he played for real.
Muggsy Bogues. Was it Muggsy Bogues?
Yeah, Muggsy Bogues is in it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, so Space Jam, absolutely. So, what's your suggestion, Ryan?
The Program is my favorite football movie of all time. Yeah, I love The Program. I used to watch that before, like Thursday nights in high school. I would watch The Program before going to sleep. I love The Program.
Okay. White Men Can't Jump is a good one.
That is a good one. Oh, so we're just doing general sports, not just football movies.
No, yeah, it doesn't have to be sports either. Like it's just movies that we've all seen that Easton hasn't somehow. Because this all started because he hadn't seen Remember the Titans. That's come up a million times. And then I made the James Gladstone, Billy Madison speech cut up, and he's like, I don't get it. Like, because he hasn't seen it. And he hasn't seen any of those 90s Sandler movies.
Yeah, Billy Madison's
so we need one 90s Sandler. And that's going to be a tough decision for me.
Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, I think I liked Billy Madison more than Happy Gilmore slightly, but it's a good debate though.
Billy Madison's, or we just make him watch all the 90s Sandlers and then rank them. Yeah. Or
no, but throw in like a random like 2000s one that's like horrible. Like you could give him like the Cobbler or That's My Boy or something like that. Just kind of in the end to see how bad it's become these days. But yeah,
I do think Billy Madison's the best. I think Billy Madison's the most quotable.
Yeah. Oh,
Big
Mr.
Daddy,
D. Someone said Big Daddy. Big Daddy's a good later one because that's the 2000s one. It's not a 90s one, but Click is a classic too. I love Click. Like that's I think
it's sad real quick though.
It does get sad, but like at the end it cheers up, you know, and it's got a good soundtrack to it, so it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely needs to be Billy Madison because Bearded Kunu is just saying things that like make no sense, but I know exactly what he's talking about.
Love it.
All right, so I've got Space Jam, The Program, and Billy Madison.
Yeah, he's gonna hate The Program. By the way, he's gonna hate it. It's a little bit too like there's no lightheartedness to The Program, really, right? Like that's just a football. That's a football movie, you know. Like it's a football player's football movie is what The Program is. So
I wonder if he's seen Sandlot.
Zero chance. Zero, right?
Caddyshack is a good is a really good candidate.
No milk will ever be our milk. Fantastic. Oh,
Jeez, we could keep doing this for forever.
Has he seen The Sandlot? That's actually going to make me
I don't
upset
know.
if he hasn't seen it.
We'll have to ask him tomorrow. So I'll write down Sandlot and Caddyshack.
If he hasn't seen The Sandlot, I'm going to be so sad.
Let's see. He has seen Miracle. Ooh, Hardball. Oh.
Hardball's a good one, yeah. Talk about sad, though. Talk about sad.
We have to make him cry. Because he said, he did say that he's not a crier movie. I think Hardball has to be on there. Because if he doesn't cry, when we all know he's going to cry, then Easton's got problems. Right?
Hardball's the last movie I cried from, was Hardball. True story. Yeah, so sad.
Dude, I like get choked up like now thinking about it.
G baby, like yeah, dude, man.
I can't take
so
that.
Sad. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh God, that's making. All right, so all right, I've got 6 written down. So we'll save those 6 and we'll see what happens. All right,
underrated one. Above the Rim. Have you ever seen Above the Rim? Above the Rim's really good. That's with it's a basketball movie. That's with I think that's the one I'm talking about, right? Isn't that the one with Ray Allen and Denzel? Denzel Washington's Ray Allen's dad? Yeah. Oh no, that's not that one. No. That's the wrong name. That Above the Rim is a different one. Above the Rim is Shuttlesworth.
When you play Jesus Shuttlesworth?
Yeah, is that Above the Rim? Jesus Shuttlesworth, or is that a different movie?
Love and Basketball. Which one's that?
What did you say? What was it?
Love and Basketball.
Love and Basketball was the Omar Epps one with it is a girlfriend.
He Got Game.
He Got Game. That's the one I'm talking about. He Got Game is Jesus Shuttlesworth. Yeah. Above the Rim is with Tupac. Tupac was in Above the Rim. Weird one. Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
There's like Mike. That's hilarious. That's too old, too recent. We're trying to find like 90s. We're like the greatest decade. I'm joking.
He Got Game is a good movie though. I like that one with Jesus Shuttlesworth. It's a really good one. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Let's get to trivia time. Let's see if we don't screw it up. All right, here we go. Shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see them in Lebanon or online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. I guess do I need to run trivia, or do you run?
Yes, trivia? I have the overlay ready, but I do not have the game.
All right, let me pull up the game real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, my screen why is that browser all tiny? All right, okay, let's see. I am ready when you are.
Ready to go.
Okay, here we go. Sharing this screen. Is it sharing yet?
Nope.
Share screen. Here we go. Now we're good, right? All right.
Yep.
Here we go. All right. Let me get the chat where I can see it too. Yesterday we crushed it, right? Ooh, Cool Runnings. That's another good one too. We went 4 minutes and 19 seconds, I believe, yesterday, which was a great time for us. So I don't know if Orlando's in the show yet today or not, but he set our over under 4.5 minutes. So here we go. NFL around the board. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. NFL. Taken 3rd overall in 1986 draft, Jim Everett threw 142 touchdowns for this NFL franchise. That would be you said the Rams?
The Rams, yep. The LA Rams, yep.
Okay. Geography. Kyiv, the capital of what European country?
Ukraine.
Television. Before Arrested Development and Better Call Saul, David Cross and Bob Odenkirk starred in this HBO sketch comedy from 95 to 98.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Sketch comedy 95 to 98. Mr. Show.
What is Mr. Show?
But I don't know, but you guys are all over that one. Mr.
Show with Bob and David?
Yeah, that has to be it. Yeah,
has to be it. Has to be it. There's no way it's not, right? Okay.
Good call. Ben Affleck first played Jack Ryan in this 2002 spy thriller featuring Morgan Freeman and Liev Schreiber. Did we just talk about the opposite of this?
What do you mean?
Because didn't we talk about a Jack Ryan movie recently?
I can't remember. Some of All Fears, which sounds correct to me. Kayla put it in the chat. Some of All Fears. That feel like I've seen this movie actually. Now that I think
Works
about
for
it.
me. All right.
There we go.
Music. Scars to Your Beautiful, Stay Here were all 2010 top 25 hits with this female singer as a main or featured artist.
Scars to Your Beautiful. That does not sound familiar
Rihanna?
at all. Someone said Alicia Cara. Is that a singer? Someone said Rihanna as well.
Rihanna.
Someone said Alicia Cara again. Someone said too. Madonna. Madonna.
We're getting Alicia Cara more.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right. Chain restaurants. Known for dirty sodas, the drive-through soda fountain chain Swig was popularized by the reality show The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and was found in the U.S. state. I mean, it's got to be Utah,
Has
right?
to be Utah. Yeah, it has to be Utah. It has to be.
College basketball. Alex Caruso finished top 10. Oh, I know this.
Texas A&M. Texas
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yep. That's when I liked college basketball. That right there.
NBA,
Yep.
after averaging 13.1 points per game in 4 seasons with the Lakers, heavily mean player joined the Warriors.
Nick Young. Nick Young. Has to be.
This
Swaggy
is
P.
Okay, come on, let's crush it. Oh dear. Actually, I think I know this.
I think I know that's Michael Keaton, right? Is it Michael Keaton?
And
I don't know the girl. I don't know the girl.
That's
It's definitely Michael Keaton though, I think.
Why is Michael Keaton and
Tina Fey?
Tina Fey. Yeah, that's Tina Fey.
Come on. How
you spell Keaton?
Keaton? Yep. Right.
Boom.
What up? There we go.
317.
It's definitely our career high. I don't know if it is the career high, but that's definitely our career high.
I mean, that's an easier board though.
That was an easy board. Yeah. Well, I mean, but like, I don't know. We got 19% in that movie spot. You know, just a couple lower ones there. I don't know.
There was one a week or so ago that had the bottom row was all single digit percentages.
Oh, really? That sounds horrible. Yeah, that's definitely our career high. Yeah. I think with Easton, I got one that was like 415 or something. So I think it's a career high for me in general. So
yeah, I've done faster. I think Sam and I had like a sub 2 minute one time.
It's insane. Actually insane. Yeah.
That one was just rolling. It was just perfect. It was right in our wheelhouse. Orlando says we're still now 3-10 against his over-under spread. But,
okay.
3 minutes and 17 seconds. That's a great way to end this thing.
A couple of them were really easy though, like the Nick Young. As soon as it said memed person or something like that, I'm like, yeah.
The Alex Caruso question was a layup. Like Eve and Ukraine, that's good and easy. We didn't have any baseball. You know, we had college basketball and NBA. That's pretty nice. So,
no NHL questions or anything. Yeah, I actually played the one yesterday just for fun, and I got dismantled by like the NHL question and stuff like that yesterday. I was just like, all right, I don't know. I just guessed a random Canadian team, and I picked the wrong random Canadian team, and it was over from there. Yeah,
it happens. All right, tomorrow morning, we've got Easton's Remember the Titans review, so make sure you hit that like button and you show up tomorrow morning to find out if Easton liked Remember the Titans or not. How disappointed will we be in Easton Freeze tomorrow morning? So we're going to have a good show there. Buck Rising live tonight to wrap up his primetime week at 7 p.m. Central, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning on a Friday. We also have Holiday World tickets to give away, so big show tomorrow on Friday. Catch you guys later. Appreciate it.